Okay, I'm here to talk to you about your dietary options when you're here at Phuket Cleanse. So we have a little chart like this that gives you some program choices, and I'm going to walk you through this chart. So the very first choice that you have is to simply just do our raw food program. And this is a buffet that we have every day. And we have all kinds of beautiful raw foods, raw salads. Sometimes we have things like raw pizzas, raw tacos, raw lasagna. It's really fun, exciting food. But this is a really cleansing food because the food's not cooked and it puts you in a much better state of detoxification. We also make sure that you have protein shakes a few times a day so that you have enough protein to meet your needs. We've also suggested you in your pre-arrival booklet to have some supplements to supplement for anything that you're not getting here. So if you need refresher on that, please take a look at the book called Preparing for Detoxification. So anyway, I suggest along with the supplements that I had recommended in that booklet for you to start off with the raw food program. Now, in terms of how much to eat, everybody says, well, okay, there's a buffet, so how much do I eat? And I would like you to always allow yourself 10% more room in your stomach. You could maybe go for 15%, but we'll just say 10%. If you're eating and you're eating consciously and you're paying attention to your food and you're setting an intention what you want your food to do for you, if you want the food to energize you, uplift you, strengthen you, meditate you, whatever it is you want, set the intention for your food as you're eating. Eat slowly, eat mindfully, and then leave always about 10% more room. If you do that, you should feel full. After about 10 minutes of eating, your stomach will begin to fill up and you'll feel satiated. If you do that, you'll be eating the right amount for your body's needs and for your intention. So you don't want to go to the buffet and just eat just to gorge for no reason. Of course, you wouldn't do that. The goal is to eat mindfully, slowly, with intention, and again, leaving about 10% room to fill you up. If you added 10% more to your diet, you could do that. You could add 10% more, but why eat to total fullness when you can just give it some space to fill up later? And that will happen. And that is something I suggest for you to do all the time. Now, the next choice that you have is to consider doing what's called a juice feast. And a juice feast is when you'll have juice in the morning, and then at lunchtime, you'll have a choice from our juice menu. Now, our juice fasting menu is really cool because you get to choose one raw soup. Now, a raw soup is like a flavored juice we put in a bowl and we tell you it's a soup. So I'll read to you a few of the options. We have raw tomato makhani soup. So this is like a raw tomato Indian soup. We have a raw tom kha, which is a famous Thai soup. We have raw palak paneer soup, which is an Indian spinach soup. So really, for example, the raw Indian spinach soup is really nothing but a green juice that we put in a bowl and put Indian spices in it so you feel like you're eating. We also have like a tomato, oregano, garlic soup. We have a tomato gazpacho soup. So we have all kinds of these flavorful raw soups, and you have it in a soup bowl, and you'll be served some hot soup with it. Now, the hot soup that you get served is the same soup everybody eats, even the non-fasters, but you'll skim off the soup broth, and you'll just have some of the soup broth with your room temperature soup juice. So we call that the living soup. So if you're fasting, you have a choice for any one of these living soups that I've mentioned and that are on the menu. And then you also have a choice of a juice. So we have a little bit of a juice menu. Now, I always recommend go green, but you might get sick of going green, so you'll want to vary it up. But all of these will give you a really, really hearty, filling, juice fast. And that's the goal, is that you have enough calories to sustain the workouts, to feel amazing, but you're allowing your system to cleanse. Now, the concept of this is that if you're having sort of a liquid diet, your body has a lot more room for, or a lot more energy that it's saving from digesting your food. When the body is always digesting the food, it has to work a lot. So we find that the juice fasters have way more energy than the eaters, because they have all this extra energy that they would normally use for digestion. They have it available for healing and recovery. So people say, well, will I be too hungry or weak from juice fasting? And the answer is no. This is a really, really hearty juice fast. We actually call it a juice feast because it is so abundant. And you'll just feel amazing. And we find that the longer you do it, the more benefits you'll see. Now, typically, if you go out and look for juice feast, F-E-A-S-T, on YouTube, you'll see all these juice feasters that are talking about doing a juice feast for 60 or 90 days. So, you know, you're only going to do it for however many days you'll commit to here. I don't expect you to do it for 60 and 90 days, but it's that nutrient dense. It has that much calories in the diet that you could actually do it for 60 or 90 days and be just fine. So that's why we do a juice feast cleanse. So basically, at Phuket Cleanse, you have the choice of a raw food detox or a juice feast. Now, if you want to take it a little bit deeper, there are a few other options. You could do something like intermittent fasting, which would mean that you would have your last meal at dinner, and then you would have nothing but water to the next day at lunch at 11 o'clock. So by doing this, it just allows you to extend your evening fast on into the morning, and it just gives you a little mini cleanse in the morning. This is something most people can do if you have diabetes or hypoglycemia, or if you're ill. We suggest that you not put yourself through this intermittent fast. This is something to do if you're healthy. If you're healthy, this is a really powerful daily, not daily practice. It's daily for some people, but it's a very powerful regular fast that you could do maybe twice a week, just to add a little longer time between your meals so that your body can go into cleansing. So again, that would be, you'd have your dinner, and then you have nothing but water till the next day at 11 o'clock. And you could do that once or twice a week. You won't change your diet at all. You just extend the time that you won't eat after your dinner all the way until 11 o'clock. Then the other option that you would have is you could just do some calorie restriction on some days, meaning when you do approach the buffet, you go for just the leafy greens and make green salads and really drop your calories maybe to about 500 calories. Now, this isn't something I would want you doing every day because of the fact that you are doing a lot of exercise, but you could consider doing this maybe once a week or twice a week like you would do if you did the 5-2 diet. So those are some other options for you. Our big options, again, the most common actions are just doing the raw food buffet. The second option is the juice feast. This is what most people do. But again, you can kind of personalize your program and add either the intermittent fast, again, when you have your last meal at 6 o'clock at night and nothing until 11 o'clock at lunch the next day. Or you could do 1 or 2 days a week of calorie restriction, where you just go for the salads and the leafy green salads on the buffet. And that would put you in a calorie restricted mode. So those are your options for you at Phuket Cleanse. The final question everybody always asks me is, if I do a juice feast, how long should I do it? And as I already mentioned, people quite often do it for 60 to 90 days. So you could do it a week, you could do it 2 weeks. People say, well, how long should I do it? And the answer is, I really find the longer people do it, the more benefits I see. If this is part of an educational journey for you and you're wanting to learn about raw foods and you want to experience that and change your taste buds up a bit, then you may commit to a fewer amount of days on a juice feast. But if it's really about deep cleansing and healing, you might want to shoot for a bigger goal than just 3 days. You may want to say, I want to do it for 5 days, or I want to do it for a week because I want to really focus on my cleansing. So it really depends on your goals. Again, I find with the juice feast, because it is very nutrient dense, it has a lot of calories, I find that if you go a very long time, you'll see a lot of amazing benefits, both physical, spiritual, and cognitive. But then if you are here on an educational journey and you want to play with the raw food and start getting used to eating that, then you may want to focus a little bit more on eating the raw food diet and seeing how you feel. Either way, I think people would be really missing out if they don't choose to do a juice fast while they're here, because we do it quite well. We make it very delicious, and the goal is if you learn how to do it here, you'll be able to easily implement it at home as what I call a pattern breaker. Anytime that you find yourself getting into some bad eating habits or whatever is going on in your life and you need to break a pattern, you can immediately implement a juice feast in your life, and you'll find it be quite easy to break that pattern of behavior. So I really would like you to have the juice feasting experience as a tool that you take home so that you can implement it on a regular basis. So those are your cleansing options, and please ask us any further questions. We all are able to answer your questions, and we don't expect you to get it all in one shot. We know I'm telling you all this now, and you're going to ask me questions about this tomorrow and the next day and the next day. But after a week, I will say that you probably will have a real strong sense of the system, and you'll be able to implement any one of these strategies or cleanses at home.